Alright, after an interesting week at Talladega, we're back at Dover for another track guide. So with that said, we're gonna just get to it. So, keys to the race card. Number 1, tires, like usual. And it's even worse here because, well, it's a brutal track for tires. You know, lots of banking, concrete, high temperature sometimes, I don't know, it depends. Number 2, I guess would be it's Dover, you know, self-cleaning racetrack. So if there's a wreck, it's gonna be huge, more than likely. One of the trickier tracks, multiple grooves can open up, so there's that. Number 3 is going to be restarts are going to be huge because tons of wheel spin. And if the leader waits to the green, really be prepared to not step on it because there will be a wreck. To not just smash on the throttle because it will, you know, kill you and 3/4 of the field. So keep that in mind. We're actually going to put a number 4 on here, and that's pit road. You know, here at Dover, once the big wreck gets out of the way, it usually turns into a green flag run. So pit stops under green are going to be intense. And me, I'm braking going into 3, and that's it. I'm getting down on the apron, and it's a really tricky pit road to get down to speed. So there's that. So anyways, let's go to pit road, see that whole ordeal, and get to it. Alright, I'm going to be braking into 3. We're coming to pit road. I'm going to keep braking all the way on the apron, all the way until we're down to 35 miles per hour, which starts here. I don't know what that is in kilometers, but oh well. Pace car speed is 45 miles per hour. Let's speed this up a little bit. So we're going to start accelerating right here at the green cones. Stay under the racetrack, you know, here on the apron. It's all this black area. And you'll be able to exit up on the track right here at the blue cones. So let's go ahead and get to the lap. Alright, like last time, I'm going to show 2 laps. Then the 10 laps that I ran lap time wise. And I'm actually going to do 10 more laps in a hotter session for this race. That's just because that's what I practiced. That's what the VRS did. And I'm trying to give people something to compare to. You know, this was 100-degree track temp. You know, default weather, fixed setup. 12-to-1 steering. Only change I made to the fixed setup was 63% brake bias. That's it. Nothing else. So the lap time you'll see here, 100-degree track temp. The other ones are 110. So that's why. So let's see how these laps were done. Alright, there you have it for a 22.1 and a 22.3. And you could hear the tires screaming in that whole situation. Alright, so the speeds are faster this year, mostly because of the extra downforce that we have, but that's really the only reason. You know, we're going quicker in the corners. So anyways, keep that in mind. We're going to make our way into 1. Let me just slow-mo that. Last year, we were braking right about here. This year, we're going well past the transition from banking to flat. You know, right here. Once the car completely dips and compresses, that's when I'm on the brakes. Just enough to get it to go down to the white seam that you see down there. You know, the concrete that shows through the black. And I'm rolling, you know, trying to keep it as low as I can. That's just my line that I run through here. You can drift up a little bit and sort of diamond. And, you know, on the transition back down, that's when you can get back to the throttle. And that's kind of what we're doing right now anyway. Once we're on the throttle, we pretty much stay there, but this is basically chewing the tires. But you can see once I got to it, I stayed in it, used all the racetrack. Turn 3 is a very similar approach, except we're throwing it in even deeper. Again, once it fully compresses, the suspension and bounces, we're on the brakes, letting it roll. Right after we get it slowed down just enough to get down to the same seam. Here you can let it drift up a little bit because it is quite a bit tighter on exits, so you want to try to diamond it. I didn't really get to there, but you can see once I got back to the throttle, turn back down, I was already full board, and that's what you do. You can just power it off. And that's what I did for that lap. Again, I know it's not the best track guide, but this is pretty much all there is to Dover. There's not much else I could explain. I don't know what track's next, but we're gonna go ahead and do that, I guess. It all depends on if I really feel like racing, you know? I just haven't been a fan of the 550 horsepower. Here this week we're at the 750. That's why you see the really high RPMs and high speeds, because we have 750 plus horsepower because it's a mile and under track. So anyways, we'll see you in the next track that I'm gonna do. Anyways, Sim Racing Chewy side.